Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you happen to be watching. Welcome to the Six Bugle Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Ruiz, and today we have a very special guest, Christie Hensler, talking about some good topics. Christy, how are you?
I'm great.
Today, we're going to talk, Christy wants to talk about something very, very special. It's called rewiring anxiety. Uh, quick, uh, uh, quick hacks for in the moment. So, what does that entail, Christy?
What does that mean? I know the
What is
question. What is
that?
that? So anytime I get on here to do a podcast, just so you all know, like I have to ask myself, like, what is going on in my own life right now? What am I experiencing? What am I dealing with? What have I learned? Assuming that I'm not weird in the fact that other people have to be dealing with the same struggles, the same issues, the same things. And so some of you know my story and some of you don't, but nobody really knows the whole story because I haven't shared the whole story and I'm not going to on this podcast. But, you know, um, this my journey with mental health and my journey with anxiety and panic and irrational fears and OCD and suicidal thoughts and all the things, it's been a very long, hard journey. And while I've spent the last 10 years rebuilding my life and my mental health, it's still a rebuild that's in process. And so even though that I'm functioning now, like for years I didn't function at all, and so I'm in a way better place from that standpoint. I still have had to fight, and I still continue to fight every day to battle anxiety and panic and OCD and all of these irrational fears and habits and things because my system has been so wired for decades of in this way that I'm having to reprogram all of that.
Sure.
Um, and so it's been a fight and it's been a challenge. And a few months ago, I kind of was at another point where it was like, okay, what do I need? I was feeling a bit frustrated and like I feel like I'm so much better than I was because I am, but I also feel like I'm still so far from normal. And I was kind of like searching and going like, what am I missing? What's the next step to my healing? What's the next step out of this, back to a place of normalcy? And I came across, some nervous system coaching and nervous and just understanding the nervous system and resetting it and all of that. And in my head, I knew, I need to rewire my brain. I need to do all that. But how do you do that? You know what I mean? And how do you do it when you're already in it? How do you do it when you're already, being plagued with panic and anxiety and irrational things? How do you even get yourself to calm down enough to start the process? And it gets complicated. It gets overwhelming. And so, but I came across, I don't even remember exactly how I came across what I came across, but some things were put in my path. And so I started doing a coaching program online that I was not leading it, I was participating in it. Um, and where she kind of walks you through this, and it was still overwhelming, but it started to make sense to me. And so I just wanted to share with you all on here because I'm not even going to try to talk about this like I have a PhD in this because I don't, but just a couple tips from what I've learned that because we all, I think, I mean, it'd be fair to say that most people deal with some level of anxiety in their life.
Sure.
It may not be debilitating like I had, but at some point you get stressed or you get scared. Yours may be rational. You may be afraid of the traffic or flying in an airplane or death, like things that none of the things I'm afraid of. Mine's all irrational, but I think it's panic and anxiety is panic and anxiety at its core.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so I just wanted to kind of, and one thing I did, I will say that she used the example explaining this and it made sense because I'm not a scientific person. I need you to like bring this down to my level. And so, she had a slinky on the video and she was talking about how, our nervous system when we're born and in a healthy state is like the slinky where it just kind of moves, and it's meant to when we are in a danger or something, it's meant to, react and do what it's supposed to do. But then it goes back to that normal state. But what happens when you live your life in constant fight or flight or panic or shutdown is that slinky starts to just be locked up and that nervous system just stays in that state, and
Right.
and so even when you're not in danger anymore, you shouldn't be, it should just be functioning. It shouldn't be locked up. And so when it is for so many years, how do you undo that?
Sure.
And so that's a process that I've been walking through myself. But a few things that she gave me, and I've spent years dealing with panic and anxiety in public where I had to like hold it together somehow, even though I wanted to jump off a cliff. And I didn't know how to even calm my system down in those moments. But one of the tips that I learned was sticking your tongue on the roof of your mouth. I obviously don't need to show you how to do that. You can do that yourself. But as soon as you do that, you immediately can feel that vagus nerve that controls your nervous system and your parasympathetic. It just like immediately you can feel your shoulders drop and it like calms you down. And so I've tried that even in my own house or like when you're out because you can do that. You can stick the tongue on the roof of your mouth without anybody knowing you're dealing with that,
Sure.
And so that was one tip. Look at my notes here. The other one that's I taught my kids this, they kind of roll their eyes, but they use it. It's called she called it the containment hug. But it's basically like when you're feeling yourself, locked up or in that panic, is you take your right hand and you put it under your left armpit, and then you take your left hand and you put it on your right shoulder. And when you do that, you can almost feel yourself sigh or yawn, or you feel that relax. And so I use that even like I used it this morning. Matt left early for the gym and I was still in bed and I started feeling myself get like anxious, and it's just part of what I deal with. And so I just rolled on my side and did that and immediately like got myself to relax and went back to sleep. And so that's another just really simple way in the moment that you can tell your body, no, I'm safe, it's okay, there's no reason to panic kind of thing.
Right.
And then the third way, I don't know what this was called, but it's basic. Now, this one obviously isn't you to be seen doing this, but it's where you stick your middle finger in the center of your ear almost and rotate. I don't know what this part's called, but you rotate these parts. I have an earbud in on your thing, and that stimulates your vagus nerve, which controls your parasympathetic nervous system to help your body relax, slow down, calm down. And so I did that. You can do it both at the same time, or you can do one ear and then the other ear. But that has, I can just physically notice because I know what it feels like to be in constant panic and anxiety to actually trigger the body to say, no, we're not going to like stay here. We're going to calm
Sure.
down. And so
Right.
I just thought passing those along, just like quick tips, because whether you deal with severe panic and anxiety like I have, or whether you just have those moments here and there, don't ever want to get where I'm at, preferably. Like these are things that we can do to train our bodies that like we're okay. Now, obviously, if a bear is eating you alive, you don't want to be sitting there putting tongue in the roof of your mouth. You're in fight, and like that's what
Right.
you should do. But
Right.
most of the time, when we feel that, it's not that. So, oh, Rudy, you might want to chime in on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
because
no, exactly. And it's interesting that and I've read both your books and all the adversity that you've gone through and the success that you've demonstrated just among yourself, not just for yourself, but what you shared with other people. It's amazing that you still struggle with
hmm
things but you're a human being. Of course you're going to
hmm
struggle, right? Of course you're going to do you have other things that you're dealing with and these little self-help tips are going to be extremely helpful for those that are watching and to even try even at the very least, right? And
hmm
there's so many other things that are available to you, and I know for a fact that you're going to share a lot more of these things that are kind of you always do, and you've never repeated things over and over. You've always shared something different. Of course, your story is still the same, but
You're
you have to establish that baseline story so that people
hmm
understand because there are new people coming every year. And
right.
but you let them know where you came from to kind of demonstrate that the foundation of okay,
hmm
I've been here, probably a lot worse than where you're at, but or maybe not quite, but I understand what you're going through,
hmm
and this is what I've done to help myself. And that is the key. And that is where everybody absolutely loves coming back and loves to hear your story. And you have some raving fans with this experience. And they obviously, we even had people say, I'm not going to come back unless Christie's coming back. And it's, some people say, why do you have the same person come back? Well, because she's it. She's the one, she's the real deal. And she's the one that is always going to welcome to come back and always welcome to provide the gifts that she has to share with others because that is your purpose in life. Your purpose is to demonstrate the adversity that you've gone through so that you can help others know that they too can
Hmm.
recover from that and then move forward and be a valuable part of society. Because
Hmm.
that's what we're missing right now. We're missing people that can demonstrate that. You know, we're so quick
Hmm.
to judge, we're so quick to cancel, we're so quick to not value people, and we're losing opportunities here to
Hmm.
make people great. And people don't even want to watch the news anymore because it's such a mess out there. But you know, we can get through this if we stay focused and we stay centered, and if we're preparing ourselves for the future, because there is always going to be adversity, but we're there for the challenge. We're going to make ourselves stronger. I typically read a book a week, Christy, and
Hmm.
listen, and I provide what I've learned from it and what you could learn from what I learned. And one of them was from David Bear, and he talks about
Okay.
the primal state and the positive state.
Hmm.
And they're like what you're talking about. The primal state
Hmm.
is when you're fight or flight, and
Hmm.
the negativity of things that you go through. And then there's a positive state when you're happy, joyful, things are going great. You're never in both states at the same time. It's always one or the other. But you can tell yourself what you can know when you're in the primal state.
Hmm.
Things don't you don't feel good. You're unhappy. Then you stop and like you said, center yourself and say,
Hmm.
why am I feeling like this? And then switch that back, go back to the positive state and say, no, I don't have to feel like this. There's other things that I can do to kind of make myself happier or kind of make myself go through these things. You will go through those things.
Hmm.
You're not there to stay, you're there to go through. And
Right.
and that's what's going to be helpful. And the tips that you provide at the conference are always beneficial to people, always beneficial to everyone. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you have next because you're constantly learning too, and you're
Yes.
doing it for a purpose, not just
Constant growth.
yeah, and not just for
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, a lot of it is for yourself because you're still learning and growing, but I think a lot of it is so that you can share it too. I think that's
Hmm.
what is kind of helping you grow and to help other people.
Yes, for sure.
That's what gives you joy. That's what puts you
Yes.
in the positive state. And I know you feel it because that energy that they give back to you, I can see your
Hmm.
excitement and you start talking faster and you get excited.
I know I need a slow down sign.
But that's a good thing. That means you're resonating with the energy that's in the room, right?
Yes.
And they're getting
Yes.
it back. And I can see because
Right.
their eyes start to water and they're like, she gets
Hmm.
me. She
Hmm.
understands what I'm going through. It may not be the same, but at least
Right.
they understand that you understand them. And that's
Right.
what keeps bringing them back. And if you haven't experienced that, the listeners that are listening right now, if you haven't experienced that, you've got to come to this conference because I know you're going to get that experience with Christy. And we have many other speakers that are going to provide
Hmm.
that that are going to resonate with you with that. But Christy is the real deal, and she's going to help you understand yourself better and provide you with some tips so that you can continue to grow and be a valuable resource, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your friends, for your coworkers, and ultimately be a better employee for the community that you serve. Highly
Yes, for
recommend
sure.
that. Great stuff,
Yes, I'm
Christy.
excited.
Yep, great
I'm
stuff.
looking forward to the conference. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to talk about yet, but the other thing, I will come prepared, but it may change in the middle of it too. So we shall see.
Well,
But it'll be good. I can promise that.
no, you always do. And I think I
So,
love how you do it because you stay for the whole thing and you talk to people while you're there. And of course, you're the one who closes. And you listen to the other speakers and you don't repeat anything that they say. And you listen to the audience when they're talking to you.
mhm.
And you gather all of that. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. But you gather all
I
that.
don't either. It's
Come to
part of
share
how I'm wired. I can just sort information.
it
No, I want to be there. I want to be relevant and I want to be where you're at. Do you know what I mean? And I am. I mean, I'm dealing with the same, but wherever I want to be able to provide what you need, so you can leave there feeling like you had an experience, but you also have the tools to go make change in your life.
Yeah. And
So,
you make friends, lifelong
hmm.
friends.
Yes, for
And
sure.
definitely it's an experience. It really
Yes.
is. It's not We don't just throw people out there and see what sticks. We don't do,
Yeah.
we're not that kind of a
Spaghetti on a
conference.
wall. Yes.
We're not that kind of a conference. We don't do that. We put a
Hmm.
lot of thought into this. And
Yes.
we listen to what you say. We listen to the feedback. We're constantly asking you,
Hmm.
what did you think about that one? What could be different?
Hmm.
How can we make ourselves better? Because we care about you, the audience.
Yes.
We care about the product that we put out, and we're constantly learning ourselves. That's why it's always
Hmm.
different. That's why people come back.
Yes.
It'll be our fourth year, fifth if you include Wisconsin, and we have some folks from the Wisconsin group that are going to come out to
Nice.
Ohio,
Awesome.
and so we're looking forward to seeing them again. So great
Get
stuff, Christy.
registered.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, good stuff. Get it registered. We'll be happy to see you. We're looking forward to it.
Yes.
And what do you always say? Bring a friend, right?
Yes, I know. I'm gonna I need a sign. So, bring a friend. I'm just gonna keep saying that until somebody does.
Bring a
Okay.
friend. Yeah.
Yes.
We talked about this on our last podcast. If you bring a friend, we'll have something special for you.
Yeah, Martha is gonna
Mhm.
put together I think that's a good idea.
Yes,
Yes.
not a bad idea at all. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you very much for
Awesome.
joining us here on the
You're
Since
welcome.
Google podcast. We certainly do appreciate your time and everyone out there. Take care.